In 2010, a catastrophic 7.0 magnitude earthquake hit the town of Léogâne, 25 kilometers west of the Haitian capital, Port-au-Prince. This deadly natural disaster killed anywhere from 100,000 to 316,000 people and caused upwards of $8.5 billion in damage. This is just one example of catastrophic natural disasters that leave the small island nation of Haiti in ruins. The Haitian people suffer the consequences of this, with 52% of the population in poverty and an average income of $2,500. 300 years ago in the 1700s, however, this wasn't the case. In fact, Haiti was the wealthiest colony in the Western Hemisphere. So, this begs the question, how did Haiti get so poor? To answer this question, we need to look back at history. In the beginning, Haiti wasn't always poor and impoverished. It began as the wealthiest settlement in the Caribbean. In 1659, the French created the colony of Saint-Domingue in present-day Haiti. The French created a slave-based agricultural economy around coffee and cattle. More plantations soon appeared, more slaves were brought in, and more crops were produced, mainly coffee and other spices. The economy of Saint-Domingue grew, and the settlement soon became the wealthiest and most prosperous French colony in the New World. It became an extremely important port in the Americas for the trade of crops and other goods headed to Europe. The income from all of this greatly increased the French budget. This led to more and more dependence on the island and the slaves that produced these goods. The exports from Saint-Domingue were massive. In 1767, an estimated 72 million pounds of raw sugar, 51 million pounds of refined sugar, 1 million pounds of indigo, and 2 million pounds of cotton were exported. By the 1780s, this small colony in the Caribbean, nearly the same size as Belgium, was exporting 40% of all the sugar and 60% of all the coffee consumed in Europe, more than all the sugar and coffee produced in the British colonies. All of this exporting brought massive revenue to the French. All of this production of sugar and coffee increased the colony's dependence on slaves as well. By 1791, Saint-Domingue accounted for nearly a third of the entire Atlantic slave trade, bringing in around 860,000 slaves by then. These slaves weren't treated as terribly as some were in North America, however. Slaves could become skilled workmen to gain privileges and some freedoms. In 1685, King Louis XIV passed a decree that guaranteed better conditions for slaves and gave them more rights. Slaves could gain freedom, and ex-slaves were treated on the same level as white men and had the ability to own property. All of these freedoms led to Saint-Domingue having the largest and wealthiest population of free people of color. Free black people, or Creoles, had the same amount of political power and were in the same societal class as white commoners. However, this is where things begin to go downhill. Despite being in the same class as whites, the Creoles began to be subject of racial discrimination from the government, which feared a united population of Creole people against them. In the 1760s, Creoles were banned from working certain jobs, interracial marriage, wearing certain clothes, carrying firearms, and being present at white events. This discrimination led to the erosion of societal systems and the Saint-Domingue economy. Slave prices doubled and land prices tripled. The price of cash crops like sugar and coffee fell, leading many to go into debt. At this time, the French started to bring white European servants along with slaves. Thousands of slaves band together and started to raid plantations. These raids continued all throughout the late 1700s. At this time, France was heavily abusing the land, eroding the soil by planting only one crop and heavily cutting down forests. The 1790s brought along the French Revolution and the end of the monarchy in France. With this came the Declaration of the Rights of Man, which declared all men free and equal. At first, this was accepted amongst the people of Saint-Domingue. Because of the turmoil in France, the Creole people took this as an opportunity to gain independence from France. Several rebellions soon ensued, but the Creole people lost control when British and Spanish troops landed on the island. This violent uprising devastated the natural landscape, burning plains and sugar plantations. In 1792, French troops landed on the island in an attempt to take control of the situation. The French tried to give pardons to Creole slaves so they would help against the British and Spanish. Slavery was abolished on the island, and all this turmoil led to a decade-long civil war. During the Civil War, Napoleon came to power in France and attempted to revert the island back under French colonial rule, but the fire had already started burning. In 1802, Napoleon sent troops to the island to attempt to retake it. The French were actually able to take control of the island, but only for a few months. However, the Creoles began to realize that the French were trying to reinstate slavery again, which enraged them. With the help of the British, a blockade of the French was instated, and France withdrew its troops, thus concluding the Haitian Revolution. After the revolution, Haitians continued on and killed the remaining white population. Haiti became the first black-ruled country to gain its independence. In 1804, Haiti instituted the First Haitian Empire. In 1806, Emperor Jacques I was assassinated, which divided the country into two smaller nations, the North and the South. In the North, there was forced labor on plantations, while the South abolished this. As a result, the North prospered while the South collapsed economically. To make matters worse, the United States' refusal to recognize Haiti and feared that it would cause slave uprisings. For nearly 2 decades, the U.S. occupied Haiti in the early 1900s. Even after the French left, Haiti still had to pay France $22 billion in war reparations, which Haiti didn't pay back until 1947. This, along with foreign intervention from superpowers like the United States, robbed Haiti of crucial money that it needed to rebuild itself and invest in the future. Because of this, it remained underdeveloped when the rest of the world was advancing. The brutal fighting, which destroyed fields, left a lasting impact on the land. The fields never grew back, so the crops like sugar that Haiti so heavily depended on for economic survival never came back to the land. Even today, satellite imagery along the Haitian-Dominican border shows the deforestation in Haiti from the French that left the country in shambles. Haiti's refusal to accept European help in fear of the return of slavery also halted foreign investment. To make matters worse, natural disasters constantly hit the island, and the lack of money meant that Haiti's infrastructure still struggles. The price of freedom from the French was an insane amount for freedom, but the French leaving also created another massive problem for Haiti, the power vacuum. In 1806, Haiti's first emperor was assassinated. This prompted decades of rulers and political instability that was detrimental to the newly formed nation. After the United States left Haiti in the 1900s, matters only worsened. The departure of the United States created an even larger power vacuum within Haiti. In 1957, this led to the dictatorship of Francois Duvalier, one of the most brutal dictators the Western Hemisphere has ever seen. The corruption drained the nation of its most valuable resources, and the human rights violations seen from the regime left around 30,000 people dead or missing. In 1986, pressure from the international community and protests within Haiti saw the end to the regime, and the Haitian people created a constitution and a plan for a democratic government. This didn't stop the instability, however. Jean-Bertrand Artistide became Haiti's first elected president, but was deposed in 2 coups, 1991 and 2004. Both of these coups prompted intervention from the United Nations, which led to a 13-year-long peacekeeping mission in Haiti. However, the 2000 election of Michel Martelly was under allegations for U.S. meddling. He resigned from office about a year after he took power. In 2016, fraud allegations against Martelly's successor, Jovenel Moïse, postponed his election as well. During Moïse's presidency, Haiti saw numerous protests in response to his administration's policies that were worsening Haiti's economic situation. In 2021, Moïse was assassinated, and the Haitian Prime Minister took over as acting president. Numerous presidential elections have since been postponed, and Haiti is yet to have held an election. All of this political instability and corruption has stunted Haiti's economic growth. Nature hasn't been kind to Haiti either, giving the island one of the worst geographical locations in the Western Hemisphere. Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, sits right on the Enriquillo Plantain Garden Fault, which is where the Gonave microplate meets the Caribbean plate. This single fault line causes Haiti's most disastrous earthquakes, like the massive earthquake in 2010. In fact, 22 other magnitude 7 earthquakes were recorded that same year in Haiti, adding to the damage toll. Being located in the Caribbean, Haiti also experiences several large hurricanes. These hurricanes caused further damage to Haiti than other countries because of the effects of French colonization. The deforestation from the French leads to mudslides and flooding from the countryside down to the coast, since the lack of trees causes soil erosion from constant wind and sun. Because of the earthquakes and hurricanes, along with the side effects that come from these natural disasters like flooding, Haiti constantly has to invest in its failing infrastructure, leaving them with less money for other sectors. With freedom comes a price, and Haiti paid a huge one, $22 billion to be exact. The racial prejudice from other nations, political corruption and lacking infrastructure, and the mistreatment from the French colonists against the people of the land solidified its place in history as the fall from the richest colony in the Western Hemisphere to one of, if not the most impoverished country in the Western Hemisphere. If you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed, and please consider subscribing, it really means a lot. Please leave a comment on what videos I should make next. Thank you.